Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and this time we're going to be looking at one of the fan favorite characters from the expanded universe, Darth Revan himself, or herself, depending on your player character in Knights of the Old Republic. Now, Darth Revan is one of the most interesting stories of Star Wars when you really think about it. This character was introduced in the Knights of the Old Republic series, and the big plot twist of that game, spoiler alert for a almost 30-year-old game, but Revan is actually the player's character suffering from amnesia and, basically being mind wiped by the Jedi to forget that they were once Darth Revan. And, throughout Legends and, the legacy of the era with this time with the Sith and the Jedi in this grand scale conflict. Darth Revan was legendary. He was someone that was feared, renowned, respected, and this is one of those Sith in the Star Wars universe that truly walked the line between the light and the dark. I think when you talk about duality in Star Wars and walking that line between, good and evil, I think the life of Darth Revan kind of perfectly exemplifies that. Revan was once a Jedi who is manipulated, falls to the dark side, walks a dark path, then has opportunities to redeem himself, makes more dark side decisions, makes light side decisions, and at the end of his life, basically the dark side and the light side in him come to a place of peace, and he transitions into the Force. Which, I think you think of Sith Lords and you think of them being like someone like a Darth Sidious or a Darth Maul, someone that's just like this ultimate embodiment of evil. I don't think Revan was ever that. He was never 100% just this embodiment of evil and the dark side. I think the light was always prevalent in him, but the lust and the allure of power, which is usually the thing that corrupts, the Sith the most. That was one of Revan's greatest downfalls, and I think his willingness to trust even fellow Sith, and Darth Malak, who he had been with, on a friendly basis, more or less, for a long time, and then turning into rivals, and, Malak taking advantage of an opportunity to have Revan killed. I think Revan understood how the Sith worked, and I don't think he ever really wanted to be a part of that. I think he always knew that the Sith are basically destined to destroy themselves. Revan just wanted to be above all of that. He wanted to be more powerful than any of the other Sith. He wanted to be more powerful than the Jedi. And he lived a life of just being this embodiment of power. That's what Revan represents, As talk design-wise, like Darth Revan's, design, the purple and the red lightsabers, the mask, the gold and the red and the accented armor. Like, he's got one of the coolest designs in all of Star Wars. I think that's a big part of what makes this character, like, so popular amongst people. And like I said, when I first had my first experience with Darth Revan playing the video game, I just thought this was like one of the coolest characters I've ever seen. So it holds up. Even after all these years, I hope they do more with Revan in the future. But as it stands right now, I'm going to give him a 9.1 out of 10. I think he's one of the most well-developed expanded universe characters. I think there's so much interpretation with his story, and I think he's the perfect character to leave a story up to interpretation. And in the game, getting to kind of play through his story, I think he's endeared to a lot of fans that grew up with that game or grew up in that time period. And When you think of the Old Republic, you think of Darth Revan. And that's a sign of a good character that can represent an entire age of Star Wars. So, 9.1 out of 10. That's all I got for you this time. Appreciate you watching. As always, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 100 subscribers. Really stoked to keep growing this channel and keep talking Star Wars with you guys. And as always, let's blow up that like button and go home.